Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Thursday, May 17th, 2012. There's a lot to cover, so let's get right into the charts here. We'll start off first with the S&P 500 E-mini futures. Futures have come off the lows here this morning. They're only down about 2 points at the moment, right to around this 1320.5 level. So futures have come off the lows a little bit. One thing I want to point out to everyone, though, is that the U.S. dollar index futures are doing pretty well this morning, although they have come off the highs. If the dollar comes down, the market will go up, and vice versa. This is really the market right here, the U.S. dollar. So again, if the dollar falls, markets will inflate and trade higher. If the dollar rallies, markets will deflate and trade lower. You could just see the recent bounce on the dollar. If I just put up a 60-minute chart, and we just go back, look at how the dollar has risen since May 11th. It really has just skyrocketed higher. So if that happens and continues to happen, expect further pressure on this stock market. Now, something a little strange has happened this week. It's an options expiration week. Rarely do we not get a single day up in the market, and every day the market has been down by the close. So we have to be aware of that. As long as there's a strong dollar out there, that still could happen. Right now, futures are coming up off the lows a little bit. Still negative on the session, though, and we'll see how it all plays out by the end of the day. A couple of other things to go over real quick. One is gold is getting a bid today. Gold has been beaten down. It is catching a nice little bid. It's up 20 points, or $20 to $15.56 per ounce. Let's take a look at the GLD this morning. You'll see the GLD catching a decent little bid. Closed yesterday at 149.46. Today it's trading at 151.05. So nice little pop for gold today. Definitely oversold. We'll see if it can hold the gains into the closing bell. That's going to be a real task. Oil is also catching a bid today. It's not up much. Punch up a chart of the USO. Right now it looks like we have spot crude up about 25 cents to 93.05. It's telling us the markets are inflating a little bit. If you take a look at the USO, it is trading up to the 35.31 level. Yesterday, USO closed at 35.05. So can't make too much out of it, but we are getting a little bid in oil and gold, and that is with the stronger dollar. So we want to take note of it. If the dollar does fall, then look for a bounce higher in oil and gold and most oil and gold stocks. That's what you got to watch for today. If the dollar does pull back a little bit, and it is very overbought, so it could pull back, you're going to watch for a bounce in the gold stocks and gold mining. You could also watch for a bounce in oil as well as gold itself, silver, and any of the precious metals. All right, so that's what we're looking at there. Markets inflating a little bit, and that's with a stronger dollar. So we'll see how it plays out. One thing I want to point out before we go any further, Europe is still a mess. You have the Italian market down over 2%. Spanish market is down 1.3%. There's a potential Moody's downgrade on a bunch of Spanish banks. It's a warning. It hasn't happened yet. Also, there could be a little bit of a Spanish bank run on the Spanish banks. So a lot of money coming out of the Spanish banks, and if that happens, that also can be systemic. I think it's just going to get worse over there. But in the meantime, it could get a little bit better for a few days. I wouldn't be surprised. You never know what can happen. This is options expiration after all tomorrow. So expect for volatility and a lot of news rumors and stuff like that coming out throughout the course of the day and into tomorrow. So we'll see how this all plays out. But right now, you still have to be careful in Europe. Europe is definitely a mess. All right, let's take a look at a few stocks that are in the news. I didn't see too much today, but let's see what we have here. Start off with Walmart. Here's Walmart stores. Stock is trading higher. Decent little pop. I honestly don't think there's much upside past 61.50. Maybe if the market rallies, this thing could get to 62.5, possibly 63. But I think right at 61.50, there's a fair amount of resistance right in there. So good little pop this morning. Walmart is trading higher. Nice little gap up. I still think there's a fair amount of resistance around that 61.50 level, though. Let's take a look at Dollar Tree. This stock is getting hit today. Ticker symbol is DLTR. It's been one of the leading stocks out there in the market. Today it's falling. I think the stock has a lot of support at 95. If it breaks through 95, then the stock has some potential downside. But just realize that there's still a lot of support at 95, and even if you look a little bit lower around 93, there's still a fair amount of support. Um, this is a strong gap down, so there's always a chance that it can go lower, although the stock has held up pretty well. If it does fall, 90 bucks is a good level, and then all the way down to around the $85 level, another very good level for support. There could be some bounces in there, but right now the 95 level looks to be holding, at least at the moment, and we'll see if that is the case. But I think there's still a very, very strong stock going forward. Let's take a look at Sears Holdings, ticker symbol SHLD. This is Sears Kmart. Stock's getting a big, big bounce today. This is a strong gap up, believe it or not. I did not know they had, we're going to come out with news this morning, but nonetheless, stock's having a nice move all the way up to $56. Don't make too much out of it. Don't make too much out of it. Until it can clear 65 bucks, this stock is still very, very vulnerable to declines. So we can't make too much out of Sears Holdings at the moment. It still needs to climb a long wall of worry before the stock looks attractive. It's just a small bounce higher. Just be very careful with this one. But until it can really get above $65 on a closing basis, still very vulnerable at this point. Okay, so watch Sears. I'm not saying it's a fade candidate. I'm just saying leave it alone and let's see how it plays out on the charts. I'm just not seeing all that great a strength, at least at the moment. There are a few other stocks out there, but nothing really moving in a major way that I'm seeing. Maybe I'm missing one or two. It's kind of a little bit of a slow day. You do have shares of JP Morgan a little bit lower. You do have shares of Apple a little bit lower, but the futures are still, chopping around this lower range and not really breaking down. We do have initial claims out, so let's just take a look. Unchanged at 370,000. So initial claims are unchanged at 370,000, and the markets have chopped around a little bit. Right now, down about 3 points on the futures, and that's the S&P 500. So we'll leave it there today. We'll see how this market trades going into today's session. But again, use that U.S. dollar index as your barometer, as the market will continue to trade inverse to that. With that said, everybody, we'll leave today's pre-market news and views report short and sweet. Again, watch the dollar. We'll tell you everything you need to know out of Europe. Take care, everybody. Have a great trading day, and we will see you all tomorrow. Take care now.